Hello, welcome back to A Boring Revolution, your number one news source for everything in regards to The Boring Company. Hello everyone who is joining us live. Nice to see you, Robert. Nice to see you, Mike. Good to see you in the chat. Let's get straight to it because there's quite a bit of information been coming in about The Boring Company. And as always, it is important to follow all the news that's coming in. As if you follow me on Twitter, you'll notice that I've been posting a few articles. Let's have a look at what's been posted. So, first of all, the big news. The news that impresses me the most at this very moment in time. Elon Musk's Boring Company applies to extend Las Vegas Loop to the Strip. So, as you can see here, this is the Wynn Casino. They're applying to extend it here to around 950 meters, maybe slightly more, maybe slightly less. So Elon Musk's Boring Company is officially applying to extend its loop tunnel system at the Las Vegas Convention Center to its first casino on the Strip. The project is in the Las Vegas Convention Center, LVCVA. So where is the information we want to look at? Wynn's Hotel and Casino is the closest hotel on the Strip to the Convention Center. So here's the casino here. There's a golf course here. The TBM is going to go underneath the golf course along here to the front of the hotel, or maybe it's the back of the hotel. It's around 950 meters. Why do I think this is a very good idea? Because this is part of the whole loop here in this area, and we can connect up to the monorail, which is just here. People who stay in the hotel will be able to get to the convention center, and hopefully we can use the existing TBM, which is literally just here at the moment. It's finished its job here at the Las Vegas Convention Center, and it's just sitting here ready to be used again. It's going to be fairly easy to get permission for this, I imagine, and they can hopefully do that in under 3 months. If not, maybe 2 months, who knows. But I think the long-term plan here is to connect this separate tunnel to Station 1. As you can see here, Station 1 is at an angle here, which means that it has moved. So it looks like we're going to connect up to Station 1 here at some point, and potentially even go all the way around back here and connect up to Station 3 as well. So again, great news. The Boring Company is staying busy. We've got to stay busy. We've got to expand on what we have here already in Las Vegas. The most important thing that I can tell you today, it's all about the size of the system. The bigger the system, the more function there is to that system, the more money it can generate. It's more efficient. So, news number 2. This is potentially even bigger news. Elon Musk's Boring Company becomes frontrunner for Ontario Airport. So, at the moment, they're in negotiations to complete this project, which is quite similar to 2 other projects that the Boring Company has previously been tendering for. So we had the one in Chicago, and we had another project in California as well, the one at San Jose Airport, linking the railway station there. So this is very good news because it's a nice simple project. It's not much bigger than the one in Las Vegas, maybe just over a mile longer, and essentially they were going to spend $1.5 billion on a light rail extension, and instead they're going to be spending around 60 to, it's more like $80 million with the Boring Company to build this. 2.8 miles long. Very good news. The fact that we can tender for these jobs and undercut the railway consultants by 90%, close to 90%, is just, we are absolutely, or let me just correct myself, the Boring Company is absolutely unbeatable when it comes to tendering for these kind of jobs. Unbeatable. Now, they've put some numbers here which make literally no sense to me. I ran the numbers. 1,200 per day, yet they're saying it's going to do 10 million passengers per year. Doesn't really add up. I don't know if 1,200 is the minimum they could do per day and 10 million per year is the maximum they could do. But the numbers that I've run here, if you're doing 1,200 passengers per day, that would be 438,000 passengers per year. Now, if you did 10 million passengers per year, that would equate to 27,400 passengers in any given day. So if that involves 14 hours of running time, that would be 1,960 passengers per hour, which sounds a bit better, but even that, and especially this, is not great, really. We should be getting at least double, if not triple that. Maybe they're aiming low and they intend to go high later on, who knows? But again, another excellent piece of news for the Boeing company. They can fund this project themselves and then take payment at the end. It's only 75 million. And they mentioned the other thing that I was kind of a little bit confused about was, I don't know if it was in this article, but they said that it would take under 3 years to build. Wow, it seems a long time for essentially 2 tunnels that are 2.8 miles long. If they do this with 2 TBMs, they should be able to do this in under 18 months, in my opinion, if not quicker. Another piece of news, the news is really flying in at the moment, is that Tesla is working on a secret 12-person van for the Boeing company. So, I think it is a bit more than just an autonomous electric vehicle. I think they're potentially working on a new platform for the Cybertruck, so trying to adapt that skateboard. So maybe there's a van, like a worker's van, kind of like a Mercedes Sprinter's van. And then they're also going to take that and modify it so that you can put people in there. Hopefully they use a stainless steel design like the Cybertruck, but who knows? I'd like to see a lot of glass, but I don't think it will end up looking like this. I think that's just, it's not very cost effective to have a piece of glass that's essentially 15 foot long like that there. That's not going to work. But anyway, Tesla's reportedly working with the Boeing company to produce a 12-person electric van. Again, these are not necessarily similar to the aforementioned vans, but they are original renderings of potential shuttles for the Boeing company. The most important thing is that they can produce a van, a pickup truck, and an autonomous electric vehicle like the one above on the same production line. Therefore, it becomes more cost effective for the Tesla to build that out in Texas. So yeah, this project here in California that's linking Rancho Cucamonga, what a name that is, and Ontario International Airport, it looks like it's still fairly basic. They've not really produced any serious plans for it yet. There doesn't seem to be an end destination for the tunnel. It seems to start at the airport and then it goes into Rancho Cucamonga, but there's not really anywhere that it could specifically go that would be like a hub. So who knows where that develops, but if we do end up winning that contract, it looks like it's 95% in the bag there. So potentially if we do win that contract, that again improves the reputation of the Boeing company. People that are saying that this concept is a no-winner, that it is going to die, that is stupid. You just can't argue with the fact that the Boeing company is winning contracts, is extending their existing tunnel in Las Vegas, and potentially winning this contract in the next 6 months, and potentially building a tunnel in Washington, D.C. to Baltimore. You know, at some point, a lot of these people that are hating on the Boeing company are going to have to start disappearing because it's just, the proof is in the pudding, as they say. If we're building it, we're winning. So, that's the news, guys. Let's see what you are saying. I am going to keep this to an absolute minimum because I want to keep it under 15 minutes. Let's see what people are saying in the chat. Wow, we're really busy today. Let's talk about this. HS2 has a totally different use case to the Boeing company. HS2 is for long distances, whereas the Boeing company is for distances of less than 80 miles. Now, I understand that some stations are, within 80 miles for HS2, but I personally think for distances of over 80 miles, high-speed rail works. But the only problem with high-speed rail is that the people that build it are infiltrated by these horrendous consultants and contractors that work hand in glove with other subcontractors to essentially milk the job. Hence why HS2 has gone out of control at the moment with his budget. If it can keep the budget where it is now, great, you know, get it built. But if it goes, you know, people are talking about it going above £108 billion. That's going to cause a lot of problems in Parliament, and I suspect that it may even get cut down potentially. So, why is he streaming from his kitchen? Because my office is an absolute mess, and it's fairly small, and the acoustics are not great. I'm going to be honest with you. I prefer it in here because the natural light, because the window is on that side, but you can't really see it, but behind the monitor. Oh, wow. It's not a very nice thing to say. Cameron Burrows. Not very nice. Okay. Although it's great news, it surprises me that they are doing this before the first tunnels are operational. There must be a high degree of confidence. Exactly, Johnny. As always, Johnny comes in with a very, very professional and well thought out question there. I suspect that they probably won't start digging that second stage of the Las Vegas project for a good 4 or 5 months. I mean, I could be wrong, but I suspect that they'll wait until we get past CES and then they will build it. But I guess we'll see, won't we? I suspect that is not even the finished plan. I suspect that they're going to connect up Station 1 to the Wynn Hotel and Casino. So it potentially could be a tunnel of around 1.4 miles in length. Exactly. And why? Ask yourself, why is it so expensive? The reason is because they're putting these underground stations in areas where it is medium to high density, and they're having to purchase lots of property, having to do lots and lots of work underground, and some of these stations really, you know, from a structural perspective and the size of them, it certainly adds up to quite a hefty price tag. Whereas I suspect for the Boeing company, they're going to do away with the stations altogether, and you're just basically going to have an area above ground where you wait and queue for the vehicles. There'll obviously be some kind of cover there, but it will be semi-exposed, and you'll be able to get into your pods and hail the pods via an app or touch screen at the destination. Why is undercutting professionals a good thing? Good. You know what? For you, sir, that is actually not a bad question. So the important thing is that there needs to be competition. Without competition, prices go bananas. If you are a subcontractor and you know that you can put in essentially 10-15% more for each project that you bid, and you're still going to get the job, you are going to cause mass inflation in whatever sector you're specialising in. And that is what happens in the rail sector, is that they know, and a lot of these subcontractors work together, and they know what A, B and C are all bidding, and they will say, you know what, A, you can have this one, you know what, C, you can have that one. And that is how prices get out of control on the railways. And a great example of that on HS2 is the signals. Sorry, not HS2, Crossrail is the signals. There is next to no one else who can do the signals for Crossrail, and that is why it's been a total fuck up. Yeah? It is the laughing stock of Europe at the moment, Crossrail, and it's embarrassing. When you see these so-called experts who are millions and millions of pounds over budget on their part of the job, and they're also years late, and it's just an absolute embarrassment. And the Boeing company will do it in a totally different way. Back to basics, simplicity. We'll win all the jobs. The rail industry, unfortunately, will have to start competing. They'll have to start actually working in a way that is competitive, rather than working with each other to milk money out of jobs. Yeah, yeah. I'm trying not to say it, but because obviously I've got links to Tesla, and people obviously associate me with the Boeing company. It's kind of gone into my my language, as it were. But I do need to. I don't work for the Boeing company, and I have no intention of working for the Boeing company. But I consider myself part of the company because I've been there since the beginning and supported the company, and I obviously talk to a lot of people that work with and for the Boeing company. I think what I will say to you, Mrs. Burrows, is that we are winning. We've won all these contracts. We're extending the system in Las Vegas. And let's take an example from the rail industry. So let's look at HS2. The budget has almost doubled. Let's look at Crossrail. The budget has gone out of control, and it's still not finished. It's still not moved a single passenger. So, you need to you focus on what you're doing and do better at that, and leave us to do what we're doing. And then that's that. Well, you know what, Mrs. Burrows, unfortunately, at the end of this stream, you're going to get blocked because it's not very nice to just spam this Q&A anyway. We're going to go over 15 minutes. The reason why it's delayed and over budget is because Crossrail and the people managing the signals for Crossrail are doing a terrible job. Anyway, that's all for today, folks. Thank you for joining in. And hopefully see you on the next one. Yeah, I did. I did! Bye-bye! And take care, everyone. And remember, don't be boring. And, obviously, stay safe.